Butterfly Club from time to time, yeah?
I do. It's one of my favourite venues in Melbourne. I love it.
It's eclectic. Is that the best way I could describe it?
It is, and that special little waiting room where you wait before you get called in to go into the show, where there's just a whole bunch of treasures all over the wall, is just something that you look forward to every time you go there.
Yeah, I don't. My wife said to me, "Who cleans this stuff?" Because there's stuff everywhere,
Yeah,
and I said, "I'm not sure that it actually does get cleaned. There's just so much stuff. It's like a treasure trove, isn't it?
yeah.
It's quite. Have you been there, Greg, or not?
Uh, no.
The Butterfly Club.
No, I haven't.
It's a really getting to it is interesting, Dave, because like I'm there usually after hours, so I walk down Collins Street because it's in Little Collins. Little Collins or Little Burke? I think it's Little. It's off Little Burke, isn't it?
Little Collins.
Little. Hang on. Does Little Collins follow? Yeah, Little Collins follows Collins. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's you're right. So it'd be Little Collins. Yeah. So, but the interesting thing is, it's a pokey little laneway, and you can't get through often. You have to walk right around back to Elizabeth Street just to get around the corner to see this place. Anyway, having said that, I went there during the week to see something that was very unusual, and you commended it to me, and you weren't there. I expected to see you. Dramatis Scientificae is the name of the group, and they're putting on this show about science. Did you? Did you not see it, or did you see it?
No, I didn't get a chance to because I got called into work, but I did do the interviews for the show, so I know a fair bit about the show. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, and I'm just trying to think. I've given you the name of the group. I'm just trying to give you the name of the show, and I've just gone blank.
Stir-fried science.
Stir-fried science. Thank you very much indeed. My silliness. Anyway, a confession first up from me. I did not study science at school. Did either of you?
Up until year 11, yeah.
Yeah, up until they stopped letting us blow up stuff. Yep.
Okay. Well, I think I did in the early years, but I certainly didn't in the higher high school years. I reckon I'm worse off because I didn't. I really do. Because I greatly admire scientific endeavour. Though I've got to say I've got very little understanding of what a scientist does day to day. I mean, it's quite a serious question. I should have asked these guys afterwards. I understand they're trying to get scientific breakthroughs, but what do they put things in petri dishes, or what do they do day to day? What's the job of a scientist? Any can you illuminate, shed a light on any of that, Dave?
Well, I guess that they had different scientists involved with the show this year. Every night that you went, there was a different scientist. But yeah, they ranged from, I think they said in the interviews, from a meteorologist through to a biologist. I think they were going to have an expert in pandemics on one of the nights. So yeah, they kind of rotate the scientists through.
But I suppose I'm talking about the real day-to-day job that a scientist does. I mean, like, obviously it depends on your specialty, but how do they fill their days in terms of trying to get to that scientific breakthrough? They test, they retest. I'm curious. Anyway, the scientists, the three scientists that are part and parcel of this troupe, Dramatis Scientificae. By the way, that means it's Latin for scientific drama, and that's what they deliver. You've got Michelle Conningham, Phil Dooley, and Patrick Trumper. So they take to the stage, and as you rightly say, Dave, there are a couple of special guests, and they vary among 5 different guests during the run of the performance. And the aim is to bring science to the masses with humour. So they sing original songs. They act in a series of vignettes. One of the guests even shows science in action, and that was my personal highlight. So a musical number about climate change was the first thing, referencing scientific knowledge as insurance. And then Conningham, Dooley and Trumper don a series of silly outfits, and they take on various guises to bring out the laughs while making headway in conversation. And among the subjects that they deal with are taking shorter showers. I was thinking, have you got any idea, because I don't, what do you reckon the average length of a shower is for people? I presume neither of you take baths, you take showers. So how long do you reckon you spend in the shower, Greg?
5 to 7 minutes.
Yep. Dave?
Probably about, the same, 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah, and I reckon I spent about 5 to 7 minutes as well. So, but there was a point to taking shorter showers. So that was one of the first things they discussed. Then the right flowers to give a woman on a first date. Yes, science can deal with that too. Black holes, eggs, and fusion. And I've got to say, I don't think I could understand the half of it. It was certainly amusing, though, nevertheless, right? So, because there's stuff there that is beyond me. And, of course, you couldn't host a science-based show in 2022 without COVID-19 getting a look in, because it does. There's a video segment on the quantum mechanic, which features a hapless removalist, and that's purely delivered by video. And then, instead of Clive Palmer, dare I suggest that there's a namesake here, they introduce a magnate called Clive Palmieri. He puts in an appearance to shake things up even more. And that's when philosophy, believe it or not, gets a working over. At the opening night, we saw a singing scientist called Katrina Nyen Robertson. And she opened her lungs, she sang, and she was on the piano. So she was warbling enthusiastic about our immune system. And the other guest was Sean M. Elliott from Rough Science, who demonstrated the Tesla coil. Are you familiar with that or not, after the inventor Nikola Tesla?
Yes.
No?
Yeah.
You are? Greg?
I've heard of it, but don't know much about it.
Well, it's certainly impressive. Let's put it that way. That to me was the highlight. I really enjoyed that. A lot is said and sung in 1 hour. And I dare say science nerds will get it all, even if I didn't. Regardless, the endeavour, the intent are commendable. Look, science can... I was thinking about this as well. It can certainly be accessible to the untrained because, do you remember on the ABC there was Julius Sumner Miller? Greg, you remember that?
I remember him doing the chocolate ads,
That's right.
Yep.
chocolate, a glass and a half and all that, yep.
Yeah. Well, he was on the TV screens from the 1960s to the 1980s with his series. Remember his catch cry? Why is it so?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was the first one that I'd seen who brought science to the masses. The other one who's on now is Dr. Karl Kruszenitsky. I mean, he's a draw card as this scientific enthusiast. And when you think about people, you can talk about any topic, and if you make it interesting, people will listen. Rex Hunt talking about fish, right? I mean, just because of the sort of personality that you bring to it. So Michelle Conningham, Phil Dooley, Patrick Trumper, they sort of add a dollop of humour to all of this because they play dress-ups and they take on different guises. It's directed by Margie McRae, choreography from Pete Blackburn, and this is, a pretty unusual show. It's sort of been playing at the Butterfly Club. So watch out for them again. The name of the troupe again, Dave?
I can't name the troupe, but I can definitely name the show, Stir Fried Science. Yep.
Stir Fried Science. Dramatis Scientificae is the name.
Sounds like a Harry Potter spell.
It does. Yeah, it does. It's like the first few letters of science, cyan, and then Tificae, and dramatis. As I say, scientific drama, and I saw that at the Butterfly Club. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. The Butterfly Club, they've got lots of short runs. Talking about short runs, I've got to take a long run because we are